Welcome to Barb's Ink Art. Today we're gonna do a sweet little love bouquet. And we're gonna use all kind of festive reds, deep reds and oranges, yellows, and some greens to create it. We're also gonna use 99% alcohol, a spatula, some India ink, possibly even a paintbrush, and then at the end we're gonna do some line work. So I think what we're gonna do is I want the composition to sort of be at this end and go over in this direction to the left. So we're gonna dip a little bit of orange in here. Don't mind my dog, he's just a great big lovable Captain Chaos. And then let's do a little bit of yellow. Let's go whole hog on that one. In these compositions, I like to put the alcohol on the outside of the ink that you drop down because it kind of sucks all the ink into the center and creates really interesting patterns. And just play with it. And use the alcohol as just an additional device to paint with. This is Courant. I will have all the colors down in the remarks section if you're interested. What I'm using here today is Durabright 9x12, I believe. And we're gonna keep this sort of delicate. And we will be using some alcohol ink markers too, I believe. But we'll see as we go along. This is Cranberry. These are all very, very rich colors. Put a little in the center. So wherever you drop the alcohol, if you drop it in the center, it's going to expand out. If you drop it along the edges, it will contract in. And if you can see here, I don't want to hold it up right now because it's wet, but this, it almost has a petal effect here that is just so beautiful. I'm gonna do something here too. That didn't do much of anything. I'm gonna drop a little green in here now. I think I'll do this. And what I'm gonna do is take the spatula and just run it along and kind of create a sort of leafy pattern. Look how pretty that is. Any kind of straight edge, if you have an old credit card, anything like that works really well for this. Just make sure that you clean it off on something so that you don't reintroduce those colors back into any other areas. You might want to maybe, it's a little too wet still for this. But you can definitely, look how beautiful that is. So unexpected. Just play with it. I mean, how great is that? And the thing with alcohol inks too is you have an area that you've done that you absolutely love, like that, and then as you add more ink, then of course that can all go away. It's almost cruel. I really don't want to add that much more, but I think I'm going to do just a little bit of yellow over here. Maybe move that around with the spatula too. I'm really liking that effect. Pretty that's turning out. I just love it. When you are doing your paintings at home, do take your time. Let everything dry, take a look at it, see what you think, and then act accordingly. I am just loving this. I don't know about you, but I just really think that I need to use this spatula more often. So, look how pretty that's turning out there. I feel like I need to do a little something here too. Maybe orange. Don't know. Yeah, why not? See what happens there. We'll do its thing. You can always tilt. I think I'm just gonna leave that. Just a little bit. Oh, that's pretty. Okay, so now I think what I'm going to do while this dries is run this through here again. And we're going to create flowers in here. Look at the pretty patterns that creates. I love that. It's very, I struggle with watercolors, but for some reason, with the alcohol ink, I can come up with similar effects. That just looks so pretty. Okay, so I am going to start with some stems. Let's see if I like this. Yeah. Okay, so I want them kind of straight. So when you're trying to do a straight line, don't move your wrist, move your whole arm. A little bit of wavy there. And then, let's see. Maybe this kind of brown color. And I oftentimes use these pens, which are from Cali Art markers. And it's okay to leave a little negative space when you're doing these. Just to create some interest. I think what I'm gonna do is, let me do some, you know how I like my berries. do a little bit of this there, and don't know. I'm gonna do. And then we can add some darker marker. Probably need to let that dry. So I'm gonna do some green here. It's coming up and over. I always like this effect. It reminds me of those old like Art Deco paintings that you see with the reds and the browns, very earth tone that they enjoyed in that era. And then we're gonna highlight these berries a little bit more. Let's see. I'm gonna see if we can drop that in. Let's create a little bit more. Again, there's no right or wrong, just play with it. And looks like, I'll let that dry. Maybe use a little spatula through here too. So we can run it up there. It looks like there's something happening up there. Okay. Use whatever materials you have available to you. Do kind of like that. Okay, so next up, I think we're gonna highlight this. Let me see how wet or dry it is. This area up here is pretty wet still. I think we're gonna use black marker today. It's acrylic paint, 0.7 millimeters, I believe. And again, we're gonna be very loose with this and just start drawing. This is definitely a leaf, so it's not really what I wanted to do, but let's roll with it. Okay, and then it's a little tacky still. Here I think I'm gonna do just really loose flowers. Let's go this way with them. And dot the outside of the center. Okay. I don't know if this is still wet, but let's do this. Just to make it look a little more spontaneous. Put a little stem. Like this. And a bigger one here. Let's see. It's still a little wet. Add a little more to that there. So this one, I think this looks like a petal to me too. And just create your flowers wherever you see them. Do this. Okay, and then here, I'll just do a filler. And let's see here. This is another, let's make this another sort of a leaf type deal. And yeah, it look like the light is coming in on it. It's kind of cartoony, but I like that. Okay, so here I think I'm gonna do sort of like a butterfly bush flower. Do basic flower shapes, and then we're gonna fill that in. Create a center, and we can highlight that later too. And just start filling in. And there's no need for perfection here. As you can see, I did not put a lot of thought into this. It's very organic. Today it's just one of those days. These are the type of paintings you just let your imagination take hold and do what it wants to do. And just realize with every painting that you do, you learn a little more. Okay, so I think here I'm gonna do sort of a stemmy type thing. As you can see, I really didn't wait very long for this to dry, and I didn't seal it before I started penning it. It really isn't a need. And then here. This kind of looks like a little bit of a tulip situation. Oh, that's still a little wet. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to get a straight edge and draw a line. Sorry about that, I forgot my ruler. So we're going to make it look like it's tied together. I'm going to do it straight. I'm going to use this micron marker, and it's 0.05. So I think I'm going to line it up with the bottom edge. A little bit better. Okay. And then draw a line straight across. And what I do is I loop, make it look like it's coming from behind, loop over, across, loop, over and across, loop, over and across. And then line this up again, draw a line, and then you can write something if you want. Since it's a love bouquet, I'm gonna write love. Look how cute that is. Okay, so now what I also want to do is just highlight this just a little bit more. Let your markers do what they like to do. Maybe even a red. Red may be good there. I like that. And then I'm going to take, see, I'm going through these. This is 0, which is just alcohol ink, and these markers. And then creating a little bit of a highlight. It's going to remove some of the ink. Yep, I like that. Okay. So now let's finish off with this. Do a great big flower. It looks like it's tucked back there a little bit, and some lines, whatever you want to do. Just do a little tiny folds. Just make it interesting. And you can dot these two. or even kind of pretty with some green. And you can drop some ink or alcohol in here too. Let's try that and see what happens. That's pretty. Yeah, I like that. Let that do what it needs to do. I don't want it to spread too much. Okay, so I don't know why, because I don't normally like to do this, but I have been using just dotting on some Bombay India ink on it. And what they do with watercolors, I've never been a huge fan of that, but lately it's something I do like to do. I was gonna do this crimson, but I'm not sure about that. So what I do is I dip it in and then just splatter. Kind of create some interesting little, I don't know. And it won't activate your alcohol ink, which is what I like. That's why I don't typically use alcohol ink for this type of splatter effect. But anyway, there's lots of possibilities with this. Valentine's Day is 3 months from now. Little love painting to send someone would be a really great thing to do. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.